Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So this is the first video that I've done in about a month. So I've been away on holiday and just got back. So those who are a bit more vigilant probably notice two things have changed. So the first thing is I got some shading for my greenhouse. So I did that purely because of going away on holiday. I didn't want the plants to dry out as quick because we had some very hot weather, and I just thought with the shading it would stop them drying out as quick when I'm not here to water them. And second thing that has disappeared is my display of Sarracenias that I have at the side. So they went to stay at friends. So my most, I guess, valued or expensive plants, I gave them to a friend to look after whilst I was away. So I didn't want them drying up or risking losing them because I didn't know what would actually survive. I was away for 2 weeks, so I didn't know what was going to obviously happen. But thankfully I came back and everything was still alive, so there's nothing that has, you know, died off or even looking like it's doing anything remotely negative. Don't know what the word for it is now. So yeah, I'm quite happy with how everything turned out. So I spent yesterday cutting off all the flowers, so everything has finished their cycles. So all the Drosera capensis and the Drosera spatulata, they'd all finished, and all the seed pods had burst. So I'm going to be looking forward to loads and loads of Drosera coming up in all my pots this year and next. So should have probably cut more off, but I couldn't plan ahead. So I was going to do a greenhouse tour, which was going to be my first video I was going to do when I got back. But because I don't have all my Sarracenias and, well, not any good ones, I've got some Sarracenias in here, but I thought I'd do my greenhouse tour when I have everything back. So when I get my plants back I can do like a proper tour and show you all of my stuff. So I was going to do a Drosera collection video today. So I did one a while back, but it was just in like winter, so everything was either just starting to come out of dormancy or around about then, so it didn't look as nice as everything does now. I did come back and realise that some of the stuff is going into dormancy, so the temperature has dropped, it's almost autumn now, and some of my stuff is forming a hibernacula, so I thought that'd be nice as well whilst they're still, you know, got dew on them, still looking good, and starting to go into dormancy. It'd be nice to show, obviously, what that kind of stage is. So the first thing I'm going to show you, which I didn't want to show with the camera flipped purely because I wouldn't be able to show you the size, is this Drosera var dictamata. So it's even hard to get it all on camera. It is massive. So this is like several plants, I would say. Which is like forming this massive clump. So it's only in a 1 litre pot, and I have a few divisions of this. So this was the main clump and I divided a few, so I've got a few others of these scattered around my greenhouse. So it finished flowering and I came back and it had spread like crazy, but look, it's looking lovely. So it's still got really nice dew. The leaves have fallen a bit. I think the netting has worked. Usually everything in my greenhouse either turns red or stands upright, but with the shading it's kind of allowed it to sit a bit better, almost looking like it wants to trail, but it also could be because the days are getting colder and it wants to sleep. But for now it's a really nice display, and I don't want it to get it in my face because so many flies over it and I just don't want that. But I just thought I'd show you that because, as you can see, like, it just covers the whole of the camera that you can see. So that was the first thing I was going to show you, and then I'll show you everything else that I've got. So this is what the greenhouse has kind of been reduced to. So these are the only Sarracenias that I've got left in my greenhouse at the moment. So they're just the ones like I've either got like unknown hybrids or are just smaller specimens that I was a bit more willing to let go of, obviously, if they did go. But it's alright, and like as you can see, everything's looking okay still. But focusing on the Drosera, so this is one of my filiformis. This is the one that has actually got all the dew left on it, compared to my first one, which I got here, which has now only got like 1 or 2 leaves on. So it did this last year as well. It died down really quickly in the season and didn't come back till the next year. It just kind of was very sudden, so that had as much dew and leaves on as this one, but for some reason over the 2 weeks it's gone exactly like it did last year. These two are meant to be the exact same type, but one goes into dormancy a lot quicker. I got this one from a friend, and it's exactly the same, but as you can see, it's formed its hibernacula already before losing its leaves. So those two fluffy balls of brown or whatever are its hibernacula. So these leaves will go exactly like this one, so it lose all its leaves. They'll start off like either go red, brown, and then I'll just cut them all off, and they'll just stay as these two little fluff balls over the whole winter period, and then come back when it starts getting warmer again. But as you can see, that one's looking nice. Unfortunately, that moth has got trapped, and I might release it in a minute because it's still alive, so that's good. I'll take that off in a minute. My spatulata at the back, I've cut all the flower stalks off of them, so they're kind of recovering from that. But there's a few of them just at the back there, which I don't think I had any individually repotted in my previous video, but I haven't checked, so I'm not really sure how my Drosera look from there to now. But this is my common type of Banata at the back here, and I've got a smaller pot of it here. Just move that fern. So yeah, again, this is a nice one. This was only a young one anyway, but has grown some nice big leaves. And it did flower. I again cut the flower stalks off. They hadn't even started flowering, but I didn't want the flower stalks. But yeah, so they're my two common Banatas. I've got another type of Banata in my red piranha there, which I'm not really sure which type it is yet until obviously it gets older. But that came up in the pot, which is nice. Here I've got my Drosera anglica. So this is my original one, which, as you can see, is also forming a hibernacula. So it's folding in all of its leaves in the middle, which you can see here. And that will be, again, its resting bud for the winter. But yeah, that's the only one that's done that at the moment. These are my younger ones, which were also in the pot when I brought it, which I divided and have now grown amazingly. So again, they need dividing and putting into their own individual pots. But at the moment, because they're a bit younger, they haven't formed anything, and my adult one has. Same with my rotundifolia, so I potted up a couple of these as well because they just keep coming up in my pots. So I potted up 3, these were mainly for leaf cuttings, the reason I put these up. But as you can see again, they're starting to get the little resting buds in the middle. So they're going into dormancy quite quick already, but it is getting colder, so I am kind of expecting that at this kind of time. So pygmy sundews again, they are slowing down for the season. They will produce gamiae soon, which is the green little like leaves that they produce in the middle, which you propagate from. So the pygmy sundews can only be propagated from seed or the gamiae, or if that's how you pronounce it, that they produce. So they're finished producing their flowers now, and they will look a bit scruffy, and then soon they'll form their little gamiae, which I will harvest and then sow. But seed corner in the Sundew cottage is doing lovely. Just that fern needs to come out because I keep putting ferns in pots and go a bit over the top. But the seed corner hasn't been affected, and there's a little Banata that seedling in there as well, which is nice. And there's a Scorpiodes in there as well, which I put originally, but hasn't done as well as the other Scorpiodes, which I'll show you in a sec. So this is probably my most impressive Drosera at the moment, is 4 of the Drosera Aliciae, and this is the giant form. So again, I got given these, and I have not yet individually repotted them, but they are amazing. Like, I love just the colour, the dew on them, and the size. So this is my, well, a common Aliciae. It's gone really red. This was before I put the shading up. It's just scorched from the sun, but I've got that example here. So these is another cluster of just your common Drosera Aliciae. So there is a bit of a size difference. At the moment though, I'd say they're about the same compared to a normal one. And these are just kind of like divisions anyway, so they're quite young, and so are these. So it'll be interesting to see if there is a significant size difference, but I still really love these. Like the colours, they've got like a pinky tinge to them, which makes them like glisten like jewels. They're really nice. Just can't stop looking at those. My favourite pygmy sundew is the Drosera scorpioides. They are the tallest form of pygmy sundews, but the leaves are just amazing. Like, they've got tiny little leaves, yet just look at how long those little hairs are with the glands, obviously, with the dew on them. They're just so nice. Like, I don't know what it is about them, but they are my favourite. I've got another pot of them here, but they're just like sparkle, and it's just the orange colour. It's something different, and I just really love them. Got a pot of another pygmy Drosera, which is the Rosanna here. Again, these produce really nice colour. So these ones are a pinky colour. So they, again, produce loads of dew. So those two are the top pygmy sundews, I've got to say, in my opinion. Got some other pots here of some Pulchella, sorry, cross Nichula. I could never pronounce that word. I've really got to look that up. Which are looking a bit scruffy. The ones that were in these pots were scruffy. They never really did as well as the other pygmy sundews, but the ones that are in a planted pot, which I did, are really well, which I'll show you in a sec. And then I've got a couple left of the Mani Cross and Missa. I did lose a few of these, but the best ones, that two at the back. So I have started reorganising my greenhouse again, so most of my Drosera are back where they originally were. So that was that Drosera Benata var dictomata, which I showed you at the start. So it doesn't actually, I don't know if it does look as big as it did before, but it fills up, so it's in this tray, which I can't again tell you how big that tray is, but it is really big. It does cover everything. I think it's just one of those things that you have to really judge for yourself whether it's massive or not, but still the leaf size and just the spread is amazing. And I'm running out of space to put it in. It's kind of its own like space, which I don't really have. So these are the Pulchella that I was talking to you about that I put in this planter. So everything that I put in this planter did so well compared to the ones that were just potted up from, so I did all these from Gamio. And the ones that I kept in their pots didn't do as well, which you saw a second ago. But the ones I put in here did amazingly. So they're the ones that flowered all at the same time. And they've just got so much dew on them. Again, that orangey kind of sparkle to them. And there was a couple of Rosanna in here as well, which again, they're not looking as good as they did, but this pot itself is just amazing. Like when the sun's on it, they just kind of sparkle, and that's just so nice. So my Capensis did really well again, so that's another pot of the Drosera Benata var dictomata. I think I've got 4 pots of that. These all here are just your common Drosera Capensis, so I've got quite a few of them. But again, they're looking alright. This is one of my own crosses that I did last year, but at the moment they're just looking like Alicia, and again there's a fern in the way. So I haven't sown my crosses I did this year. I did a few Drosera crosses. I've never shown this one before because they just look like Alicia, but this was Drosera Capensis cross Drosera Alicia, so just a very common kind of cross. And only 3 have survived so far, but as you can see at the moment they do just look like Alicia, so I don't know if they are just Alicia or if they're ever going to show anything that will remotely look like a Capensis. I guess there is some kind of like the red tinge around the edges could be a bit different, because none of my Alicia do really have that. It's more on my Capensis, but maybe it's just something that's in my head. But it'd be interesting to see if they do anything. I'm going to keep them anyway. So whilst I was here, this is more Drosera as well, so this counts. This is obviously the planter that I did, so I did the video on how to make this planter up, and this is kind of like the update of it. So the 2 Alicia I put in here are doing really well. So there was a cluster of 2. One's doing a lot better than the other, as you can see. The flytrap is growing, so it's getting some new leaves compared to the cluster that it was before. The spatulata spread, and it's got so much dew on it. And then the little cluster of Capensis at the back, again, is looking nice. So that's the update of that. I think it's worth showing you actually this. I do really like this. It's just, again, just your casual Drosera Capensis, but having so many in a pot, there's like 4-5 adults in there, and again, when the sun's on them, they just sparkle, and I think that's what I love so much about the Drosera, just that sparkle you get when the sun's on them, and just how healthy they're looking at the moment. So that's, I think, most of, well, all of my Drosera that I've currently got to show. So that is everything that I've got to show in the way of my Drosera. So they're all looking good still. Some of them obviously are slowing down for winter, but still looking okay at the moment. So it was good to just do that. It was kind of like an update for me as well, because I was going around looking at everything and kind of refreshing my memory and just being like, oh, this has changed, which is obviously a bit weird. But it was nice to do. I just thought I'd do a video while I'm waiting for my rest of my plants to get back. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed that video. So thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day.